welcome back to Cruising as Crew. My name is Lucy and today we are going to go through how I make my money last while I am at home on vacation, because you don't earn money when you're not on a cruise ship. So before we start, I just want to let you know that I am posting TikToks pretty regularly, so if you are on TikTok, give me a follow, I would really appreciate it. And that's it, so let's get into it. My cruise ship contract can be anywhere between 5 months and 8 months. And then I'll usually have between 2 and 4 months vacation in between contracts, which means for the majority of the year I am on board a cruise ship. But for those, let's say 4 months in between where I am not, it is unpaid. And I would say 90% of jobs on board cruise ships, when you are on leave, you are not going to be paid. You will only be paid when you are on board. This means that us crew members have to put money aside while we are working for when we are going to be on vacation. Now, I do have friends who come home from their cruise ship contract and they immediately get a job in Sainsbury's or as a driver. So, I mean, they are earning money while they're at home. And we all have our own motivations for doing stuff, but I am sure that you can understand, after working every day for 6 to 7 months, your girl needs a break. And although we all need money, if you can save up during your contract so that you can have a rest period while you are at home, highly recommend it. Highly recommend it. You don't want to come back from a cruise ship and then have to get another job to support yourself during your vacation. It just takes a bit of planning and organising, which is what we're going to go through. Now, fortunately for me, because of you lovely people watching this video, I am actually earning a little bit of money from YouTube now, which means that saving for my vacation while I'm on the cruise ship isn't as important as it was. However, I don't know whether you know, but the monthly YouTube salary is so up and down. 1 month it can be 200 and the next month it can be 1,000. It's wild how much it fluctuates. So I do still save during my contract because I'm not at a stage with YouTube yet where I can fully rely on that monthly salary. So let's go into how I prepare and save money for my time at home. The first thing you need to consider is where you are going to stay during your vacation. Now, personally, when I'm on vacation, I stay with my dad in my hometown. I have one friend that travels continuously during her vacation. I have another friend that rents out a little hut in Bali and stays there for 3 months. And the reason you need to have a good idea of where you're going to be staying is because you need to know the costs associated with that. For me, very fortunate, my dad doesn't charge me any rent while I am home for these few months, so I don't have any bills to pay while I am home in the way of rent, electric, all of that. But if you are going to stay at Airbnb, how much is that going to cost? If you're going to stay in Bali or if you're going to travel continuously, how much is that going to cost? The next thing that you need to consider is if you're coming home where all of your friends and family live, it's wonderful, but it's not. When you come home, everyone gets in contact and they're like, I need to see you. I haven't seen you for 6 months, quite rightly. And it's incredible because you're like, oh my God, I feel so loved and everyone wants to see me and it's wonderful. But it costs because everyone's like, let's go out for a drink, let's go out for dinner. And now, of course, you can be sensible and be like, well, you come round here and I'll cook for us. Or we can have a drink here. There's cheaper alternatives. But you are going to want to go out for a drink or for meals and stuff. And this is going to be quite concentrated when you first get home. So you need to also think about how much you're going to spend on seeing your friends and family when you get home. Because trust me, they are going to want to do fun things with you. They're going to want to go out with you. You also need to consider when you are going to be home. For example, I came home this time just before Christmas, which was wonderful. I'm so happy that I got to spend Christmas with my family and friends. But of course it's more expensive than if I'd come home now, because I'm like, okay, I'm home for Christmas. I want to get everyone Christmas presents and be a part of the festivities. Are you coming home when it's someone's birthday? Are you going to have to pay for things because of the time of year it is? If you're not planning to travel continuously, and like most of us, you're planning to just come home and relax, are you going to want to go on a vacation? I usually don't, because spending 6 months on a cruise ship, I spend 6 months going to some incredible places. So I feel like I do my holiday bit there. And you know, when I'm home, I like to just see my friends and family as much as possible because that's what I miss when I'm away. However, you might be coming home in the summer and you know that all of your friends are going on a girls' holiday and you will want to go with them. Or you might want to go away with your mom or whoever. So are you going to want to go on holiday, take a vacation, go on a trip? And again, how much is that going to cost? You also need to consider what outgoings you have. So majority of us have a phone bill that comes out every month. A lot of us have like Netflix, YouTube Premium, Disney Plus, Canva, you know, there's so many subscription things that you can have. So what outgoings do you have in that way? Now, once you have thought about and written down all your estimates of how much those things are going to cost, now it's a case of estimating the total amount. So let's say, you know, you're going to stay at home with your parents, so you're not going to have rent. Maybe you're not going to go on holiday. Let's say your total comes to $2,000. You're always going to want to aim to save a little bit more than you need. So, okay, let's say 2,500. So my contract is going to be 6 months. 2,500 divided by 6 is 416-ish. So that's what I'm going to want to put away every single month. And if you do, then you will have more than enough money for your vacation time. Now, I personally have multiple bank accounts, mainly because I've been on ships for so long and been in so many destinations. I'm like, okay, it would be good to have an American account. It would be good to have this account. So I've got a lot of bank accounts and I have one of them dedicated to my vacation fund. So what I do is after I've worked out that sum, so $416 a month needs to be saved, I literally set up a direct debit. So I'm going to get paid my salary and 416 is going to go straight into another bank account. And normally that happens before I even see the 416, so I'm just left with what I can spend. Because I don't know about you, I find it really difficult to save if it's all in one account, because I'm like, yeah, I won't spend that £400, and then because it's in the account, it's just, you're like, oh, I spent the £400 on what? I don't know. Food and booze, probably. So it's a lot easier and more effective to just shove it in a different bank account and don't take that debit card outside with you. So that's how you prepare for your vacation. Now, as for making that money last while you are at home, it's all about budgeting, baby. Now, I'm not going to go into too much detail about budgeting because there are thousands of other YouTube videos that will explain budgeting a lot more effectively than I will. But basically, I just open an Excel spreadsheet, I put all of my expenses into that Excel spreadsheet for every month that I'm going to be home. Rent, subscriptions, non-negotiables. So let's say out of my $2,500 that I have saved, 1,200 of that is non-negotiables. That leaves me with 1,300. Divide that by 3 months, that leaves me with like 430. So that means I've got 430 pounds to spend every month while I'm home. Now, what I would say is because cruise ships are so unpredictable, I always try and spend less than that. So I would aim to spend about $300 a month. And this is because if my joining date is then pushed back and instead of being home for 3 months, I'm now home for 4 months, I'm not completely screwed because I've been spending $300 a month, which means I still have $399 to spend during that last month. Now, if it gets pushed back again, then we're gonna have to do something. But it just means that you're covered, like you've secured yourself. Now, I'm not saying this is fun. Budgeting isn't fun. Wouldn't we all love to be the people that could just spend whatever we wanted to do on whatever we liked, whenever we wanted? But that's not the life we're living, unfortunately. Hopefully one day. But as for now, at least, budgeting is part of my life and it's probably part of yours. And if it isn't, budgeting should be part of your life because it's a lifesaver. But that is how I prepare for my vacation and how I make my money last during my vacation. Because no, I don't want to work while I am at home on vacation. and I'm sure you don't either. But if you have any questions about this, you can leave them in the comments. Please do not send me a message on Instagram because God knows I'm really struggling to answer them. At least if you put a message in the comments and I can't answer it, there will be someone that can answer your question. But yeah, I hope you have a fantastic rest of the day, guys. Thank you so much for watching, and I will see you in the next video. Bye!